Okay, so we're kind of continuing looking at these two functions. We've taken a look at them algebraically to determine, yes, indeed, they are inverse functions. And now we're going to take a look at what does that mean graphically. So this first function, the original, we'll kind of take a look at that in blue. This is the parent function of the reciprocal, 1 over x, and it's shifted up too. So the horizontal asymptote is at y equals 2. And this has a graph that looks something like this. Something like that. Then you've got this other, the inverse function, is also the reciprocal function, but it's shifted to the right too. So we'll see how this goes here, trying to make it look somewhat okay. To the right too, so this is like this. So in this case, the horizontal asymptote is the x-axis, but the vertical asymptote is x equals 2. And it should be, let's see, something like this. Okay, and it's not perfect here, but what you want to be able to see is, okay, the line y equals x. The line y equals x should be kind of like a line of symmetry, so that if you reflect, let's say, the orange function or the inverse function over the line y equals x, we should get to the original function, which is f of x. And the same thing, kind of going back and forth. So that kind of transformation is saying, okay, x comma y will go to y comma x, which is really just that kind of thing going back and forth. That's what we did to determine these functions in the first place. We switched x and y. So that transformation, you can kind of see graphically here, goes back to the definition of inverse functions. And maybe we should just, for a quick recap on domain and range, so we've got the picture here. The domain of the blue function, or the original f of x, is all values except for 0, because there's a vertical line there, and there's no value of x that is equal to has corresponding coordinates on the f of x function. So it's all real numbers, but x can't be 0. Notice that the range, which we did determine already, is all values except for y can't be 2. And there's your horizontal asymptote. And the domain, these guys just switch. So the domain of the blue function, f of x, should be the range of the inverse, of the orange function. So that means that the range is all real numbers, but y can't be 0. And sure enough, you have no y value on the x-axis. And the domain is all real numbers, but x can't be 2. And you got a vertical asymptote there.